Hi everyone and welcome. Today I'd like to clarify for you what is the path to freedom and to really explain to you what is actually happening because the path is not vague. It's not you just sit and meditate and wait for something to happen or sit in front of a teacher. There's actually a certain path that we go through in order to reach wholeness and freedom. So, first of all, it is to understand that when we are completely identified with the mind, yeah, when we are completely identified with the thinking process, with the subconscious thinking process, we're not there yet. In order for us to wake up, we need a center beyond the thinking process. And the center is within the mind. It's beyond the thinking, but it's still within the mind, what we call the third eye. And we really have to cultivate the space, this presence. We have to cultivate presence there that is always there. At the beginning can fluctuate. We identify thinking and then we come back to the center. But eventually we discover a space that is always there beyond the movement of thinking. And this is the first step of basically awakening. This is awakening, yeah? This is what I call awakening. When we realize that we actually, the I amness, we realize the first I amness basically beyond thinking. Before our I amness was on a relative, on our personality. I'll ask you, who are you? I'm so and so from there, and your whole story, story of your personality. But when you connect to a center, yeah, beyond the thinking process, this I amness already has more of a space. Yeah, you're still identified with your relative identity. There's still your point of gravity is still there, but it starts to shift. It starts to be like how will I say? You're both. You say you're the observer, yeah, and what is being observed. Yeah. Okay. You're the one who's watching the thinking process, and you are the thinking itself also. It's still that this is the first stage, but you have to always be connected to the watcher. Yeah, you have to bring yourself to a stage when you're really stabilized there. And this is basically, for me, it's the first stage, like I said, and where the first so-called path of your spiritual evolution is. So this is done through meditation, basically. And then the second stage is when you divert your attention from the watcher inwards, okay? And you inquire into who's the one who is watching. Who's the one? What's behind this? The watcher. There's something else behind it. Yeah, it's not your relative because you're watching your relative identity, but there's something behind. Who's the one who's watching? Okay, this is something very important, and this is done with self-inquiry and also an energetical transformation. Basically, it sounds sophisticated, but it's about um, how do I say, dropping into being, just dropping into being and relaxing and deepening your space of silence. So with your intelligence, you recognize that there's a quiet space beyond the mind. There's a restful space. And you recognize it through meditation, through energetic work. And with your intelligence, you ask yourself, what is this space? What is this beyond the mind? I cannot call it by name, but I realize that there is there. It's physical there, physically there. There is something. So this is the second part. When you connect to your, you can call it the soul, or you can call it the spiritual part of your ego. But this is so-called the in-between part. When you connect to being, it's an in-between part between your mind and consciousness and the eternal reality. So you connected there. You already realize yourself to be silence that is observing thinking. Before that, it didn't have that quality. In the first stage, you were aware of thinking, yeah. You're present and aware, but there wasn't the quality of silence, of the deep, restful silence. But when you connect to this space, your existence is start to take a completely different shift. Your presence is different. Is more silent and more restful. Okay, so there you're already with 1 foot in the beyond. You're already 1 foot in the beyond. Your center of gravity starts to shift from the relative to consciousness. Now, it's not linear. We don't have I cannot show it to you on a. There's no application on the phone that can show exactly where you are. Yeah. So it's you with your subtle intelligence. You start to interpret what is happening here. What is real? Okay. Where am I? And you constantly need to push your intelligence forward to understand. And make sure your intelligence is not conditioned by books or things that you heard. It's just you with yourself trying to understand your reality the best that you can. And believe me that if you do that, if you really push it, your effort to understand, things will start to fall into place, because it's like this pushing of your intelligence. It's like exercising it. Your intelligence becomes more and more fit, and you won't believe what the things you see and that you can do with your intelligence. Yeah. So restful and being. Yeah, you're resting in being. And from there, when you're restful in being, from this space, the next step is realizing non-duality, realizing consciousness. Yeah. And this point is where the point of gravity completely shifts to consciousness. And you can say, I am that. That's when that happens. You just say, I am that. That's all you can say. I am that has no shape, no form, no name, no history. Living in this particular body, using this particular mind, with this particular intelligence. And that shift, the point of gravity, and some people call it the self-referral, when the self-referral drops or shifts completely to consciousness. This is a rare shift, let's be honest here. This is a very rare shift. It just happens by grace. I don't know. I cannot teach people how to, I have no idea how it happens, to be honest with you. Yeah. But when this happens, then this is what I call enlightenment. Until then, it's awakening. All the stages until then are awakening. But when there's a shift like that, then this is what I call enlightenment, and it is different. Yeah, it is completely different than the prior stages of awakening, which I don't look down on, you know, yeah, because it's still, I think, each stage is a real quantum leap in human existence that has to be completely valued. But the absolute freedom from the mind and from the so-called human drama of a dualistic limitation is when the point of gravity shifts completely to consciousness. Yeah. So you really need to value each step that you take. It's really important not to be greedy. I think that enlightenment, our potential as human beings, should be acknowledged. We should be inspired by it. But if we fall into the greedy mind, yeah, then it becomes another egoic chase to the future. Yeah, so the secret is to value where you are, do the best you can where you are, because you know that at this moment it brings you sanity. So it's not about enlightenment. It doesn't matter. What you want is sanity now, and the furthest you can go, the better. And if not, okay, that's all you got for now. Yeah, and you should value it, and it's okay, because it's a lot better than the space that you're at before. And let's be honest here. We really need to be honest, because full enlightenment is very rare. It doesn't happen to many people. So when you know that, you just drop that whole desiring mind. I'm going to sit and wait, meditate, wait till something extraordinary happens. No. Like this, you don't even evolve. You just, each step you take, you cherish. Because so easily you can get hooked on the spiritual path to a desire that completely negates life, and you don't cherish life anymore. You don't see the trees and the birds, and you're on this. And I met many people like that, and you just want to wake up. You just want to be fully enlightened, and yeah, it's very subtle. The you can go on the wrong way so easily. So it's about cherishing the moment and doing the best you can to live the moment in sanity and wholeness, yeah, and freedom. That's it. And life might take you further, might not, but life has its own speed. You don't have any control. Yeah, you just respond to the moment of what needs to be done. Okay, so thank you very much, and we see each other again. Bye bye.